How to become part of the 0.001% and be unstoppable. This is a very clickbaity title, I know, but I will deliver on this promise. Today I'm going to show you this one lesson that you do not do at this moment right now, but that will transform your gym success and frankly the success that you have in your life in general. This sounds like a guru advice or a guru introduction, but this shouldn't be. It will be absolutely brutal, the advice that I'm going to share with you, just in some seconds actually. But it's advice that you need to hear at this moment right now. And that advice is simple. You need to embrace pain. You need to embrace pain. And if I could just give you 3 lessons for life, this would probably be the number 1. Embrace pain. The second lesson would be to just fucking do it. The third lesson would be to never ever give up. But today I want to talk about the first lesson right here. Embrace pain. But in the same moment, this lesson or this advice is bad. Now why is it bad? Because it's extremely hard to do. I mean, I could tell you to stop eating a donut. To stop being afraid. To stop thinking about your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. While this might be the right thing to do, it's really hard to implement. And here's why. Because all of those 3 things go against our DNA. At this moment in time, we're fighting against our DNA. Our DNA doesn't want us to forget about our ex-girlfriend. Our DNA wants us to go back to her. Our DNA wants us to be afraid so we don't hurt ourselves. Our DNA wants us to eat that donut so we can have enough calories. And when we're fighting against our DNA, we're essentially fighting against our brain. Why? Because the brain is the slave of the DNA. The purpose of life, researchers agree, is to create gene copies. Is to create children. And the DNA profits from that. It's not our brain dies off with our body. But the DNA keeps continuing and continuing for whatever rigged reason. We don't know why we create gene copies. But we need to realize that our brain is the slave of our DNA. And our brain only has 3 pillars, 3 missions. Number 1, it wants to seek pleasure. Number 2, it avoids pain. And number 3, it minimizes calories. And embracing pain goes literally against all 3 of those pillars why our brain exists. But this is so counterintuitive. Because if you do not feel pain, you do not change. Take a look at personal growth of any kind. It's always related with pain. The price of reaching any goal is pain. And this is what nobody wants to tell you. They want to tell you that you reach the goal because of this system, because of this new method or this supplement. But how you really reach your goal is by going through pain. The funny thing here is the higher your goals are, the higher your pain threshold needs to be. This was the number 1 advice of Elon Musk that he gives to new entrepreneurs, is to have a high pain threshold. And somebody that runs a business, like me, I know that you need to have a very high pain threshold. And someone that transformed his body, I know that you need to have a very high pain threshold to do this. Talk with any athlete. Talk with every business owner. Talk with everyone that has a fit body. And if they tell you that it was easy, they're simply lying to you. All of those achievements needed to go along with pain. Now this might sound like your brain and your goals are in a standoff against each other. They're pointing guns, waiting for the other one to pull the trigger. And this might be true to some degree, but what you should truly aim for after some time is to have an accordance of those 2 partners. Your brain is aligned with your goals. This will not happen in the beginning, but after some time, which I'm going to show you afterwards, you can train your brain to be that way. See, that's how your goal achievement looks like when it comes to happiness. First, after you buy a program like this, you feel an initial surge of happiness. Why? Because you took action. You took action to your better you. Right now, if you're watching this video, you probably feel great. But afterwards, your happiness will go down. And it will keep declining shortly before you achieve your goal. But the hard part about your goal achievement is that it will usually go back to baseline, or maybe slightly higher than baseline. And this is the same thing to everything, to literally everything that you achieve in your life. For example, you want to have that promotion, you want to have that fit body, you want to have that girlfriend or that house. After you achieve that goal, 2 to 3 weeks after, or 1 to 2 weeks after, it will go back to baseline or slightly higher. That's a hedonic treadmill. That's why usually more will always lead to normal. But that's a completely different topic right now. But if you take a look at the graph of your fulfillment and personal growth, especially when transforming your body, once you've achieved that goal, it will be higher than usual. You will create the new baseline. Which means if you think back, personal growth is if you think back at your life and you assess how you feel like, how much you mastered what we call life, you will feel better than usual. Why? Because you know that you've made that achievement of creating a great body. You can make pain or the feeling of pain a little bit easier by creating a breadcrumb trail or a hummus trail for us vegans. And what this truly is micro goals and micro rewards along your goals. For example, if you want to become a fit vegan, it can help if you have a micro goal. Like, for example, once you lose 10 pounds or 5 pounds, you have a slight achievement. You go out with your wife or with your girlfriend or with your boyfriend, depending, for dinner. Okay, and you do not count the calories. That could be a micro goal. Or you eat a package of Oreos. You need to have micro goals on your way. But even if you have micro goals, and I personally do not have micro goals. I just keep on working. I very rarely reward myself. But I've seen in my clients that it can help. If you have micro goals, you still have to realize that you will feel pain. The pain here is inevitable. You have some sort of micro mountains in your downward decline of happiness when you're trying to achieve your goal. But it will still be painful. Now, how can you embrace the pain? You need to understand first what pain actually is. And what pain is a guiding light. It's a precursor to action. So let's imagine you're running for a certain amount of time. Suddenly you feel pain. Pain urges you to stop, to take a seat, to rest. This is the normal mode of action, and that's why we have pain. But what we need to realize is that pain is not an imperative, it's a suggestion. Pain is suggesting you to take a seat, to rest, when in reality you do not have to. And if you take a look at Navy SEALs, for example, everything they learn in Hell Week is essentially this one advice that I'm gonna give you right now. Is that pain is not an imperative, it's a suggestion. And if you can learn one thing from this talk, it is this one. Which means once you feel pain when you're running, for example, then 99.99% of people will lay down, will take a seat, will listen to their body, so to speak. But the 0.001% will keep going. The 0.001% will keep going. And once you realize that, once you do this one time in your life, you just need to do this one time to have this reference experience. The pain is a liar in disguise. You think pain tells the truth when it tells us to shut down. But what it truly is, it's a liar. It's a liar. Now there are some parts of pain. For example, let's say you get cancer, okay? That you probably should not push through. You should truly rest. But when it comes to the gym, especially when you're first training out to the gym, you will feel pain by simply moving your body. And you can push through new levels that you never thought that you could reach. The ironic thing right here is that actually when you stop, you feel sad. You feel unfulfilled. Because you thought you could go on. Because you didn't reach your goal. Especially if you keep running. Running is a prime example that we're going to take a look afterwards. You feel happy once you push through that initial boundary. That's what people in work, they call it the flow state. Flow always goes along with pain. For example, you sit down to work, you feel pain, you can't focus, and you push through it, and suddenly you feel yourself in a flow state. And that's where happiness is found. If you are part of the 0.001%, if you see pain as a suggestion and not as an imperative, you're unstoppable. You see those hurdles, and when everyone is quitting, you just keep jumping over them, and over and over and over and over again, until you reach your goddamn goal. That's where you become unstoppable. And everyone will think you're superhuman. Everyone will ask themselves, how does this guy do it? How does this guy keep going? And the reality is that you act despite of your emotions, not because of them. You feel pain. Maybe sometimes you feel lonely. But you still push through. You still push through. It doesn't matter, because you realize that it doesn't matter. You're dealing, more often than not, when we feel pain, where we feel negative emotions, we are dealing with liars, and we can push through. Now, how can you embrace pain? How you can get used to pain? Number one is exposure therapy. You need to be confronted with people that are embracing pain on a regular basis. Maybe you need to seek out the extremes. One of those extremes is David Goggins. And David Goggins is an ultra endurance runner. He runs like 100-mile races. I think he completed Hell Week with pneumonia, which is a life-threatening disease, life-threatening incident. And his saying is that if you think you're done, you're only 30% done. If you think you're done, you're only 30% done, which means you can push to way new heights than what you've thought. You need to expose yourself to those people, because you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. When you choose a gym, don't choose a gym where you feel comfortable. Go to a gym, the people are so big, you feel uncomfortable walking in. And that was one of the mistakes that I've made for a very long time. For a very long time, I trained at like 6 a.m. or like 11 a.m. And I was the biggest guy in the fucking gym. Now, do you think I found the motivation to push to new heights? No. I was just there going through the motions and leaving. Right now, just recently here, I joined the gym, which is obviously a lot of steroid users are in there. And you need to realize that some people are on steroids, but it doesn't mean that you should not push for that level while you're being natural. So go to a gym that people are so big you feel uncomfortable walking in. Don't go to a gym where you feel comfortable. Don't go to Planet Fitness where they have like pizza days. Go to a gym where you feel uncomfortable, and then still go there, especially if you're an experienced trainer. Another thing that you can do is you go to meetup.com and search for marathon runners near me. Search for entrepreneurs near me, because these people are dealing with pain on a regular basis. Try to meet with those people at least once a week. Try to find a social circle around people that are feeling pain and that are seeking pain, because they know that it goes along with personal growth. Number 2, how you can embrace pain is through endurance running. It's by doing cardio. And see, I was never a fan of cardio, and frankly, I'm not a fan of cardio right now. Even David Goggins says that he hates cardio, but he calluses his mind. He gets stronger and stronger every time he pushes through new boundaries. I remember running an 11-kilometer run in 9th grade. Now, I remember running the 11K. I did like two practice runs where I only managed to go for like 5K and nearly killing myself. And once I was in the 5K boundaries, so nearly half of the race, it was a very hot day. At that time, I saw a bus. I saw a bus in front of me. And I was so wasted that I literally contemplated throwing myself in front of the bus. At least I had an excuse to give up. So I was feeling so much pain that I thought a better option would be to injure myself seriously. At least I had a reason to give up. But I realized that after I pushed through that extreme amount of pain, I found myself happy. I got a runner's high. Now, does this mean that I should push myself to new heights on a daily freaking basis? No. But it should be a regular part of our life. We should seek out what is possible. And what we often realize that after we go out of our comfort zone is that there is where true pleasure and fulfillment is found. We also prime our brain, to seek those situations. Because again, the 3 pillars of our brain is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and minimize calories. And if you just run on a regular basis and if you push ourselves, I would say at least once every 2 weeks or once every 1 week if you're a crazy bastard, you will realize the pain is good and you will seek pleasure over and over again. You can push yourself to new heights. Number 3, how you can embrace the pain is by static exercises. Now, why static exercises? Let's imagine you hurt your hand. What you usually do if you hurt your hand, you move it. You move it very freaking fast. Why? Because pain and movement have the similar pathway to your brain. But when you do static exercises, you're not capable of moving. The only thing that you can do at that moment is to embrace the freaking pain. Now, what are static exercises? Static exercises are the plank. Now, usually you do the plank on your elbows, so this is probably not the best picture, and flexibility. Plank and flexibility. And I can tell you I'm very bad at flexibility, but it's probably the thing that I should be doing, because that's how I embrace pain. But I can tell you that I nearly kill myself in planks every single training, or every second training, so to speak, when I train my legs. And one advice that I can give you right here is to not use music. Do not use music, because again, same as movement right here, music or the music stimulant has the same pathway to your brain as pain. And if you just deprive yourself out of this method, out of this additional stimulant, you will feel more pain. And once you feel that pain, I want you to talk to yourself. Tell yourself, yes, I feel pain. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the purpose of this exercise. You do the exercise to change yourself. You do not do the exercise to feel comfortable. No. You want the exercise to change yourself to the fit version that you are, that you know you deserve to be. But you can only be that fit version once you put in the work. So tell yourself, yes, I feel pain. And that's exactly how I want. And after some time, you will realize that your brain will tell you, okay, I will not die. Your brain will realize that just because you feel pain, that doesn't mean that you need to stop. And the more pain you feel, the more you push yourself in the workouts, the more you push yourself in work, you will realize, or your brain will realize, that you will not die. And you will raise up the levels of your brain. If you never push yourself, you never know how far you can go. And you will realize after some time, like David Goggins is the perfect example, they can go to way bigger heights than what you thought was possible in the first place. And I realized this. I mean, I was a heavy gamer. I was a heavy gamer when I was about 16 years old. And frankly, I was afraid of a lot of things. I was afraid of freaking a lot of things. And I thought that I could not do this because it's not in my freaking DNA. It's just not how it's supposed to be. But after you push, after you go to new heights over and over again, you look back and you don't recognize yourself anymore. And that should be the goal. If you want to become a high performer, if you want to become the best version of yourself, that should be the goal. So that right now, if you look back 1 year ago, you want to feel that feeling of I'm doing completely new things that I thought wasn't possible just 1 year ago. That's the purpose of self-growth and fulfillment. And that's how you tell yourself or your brain that you will not die, by leveling up over and over again. The action step that I want to take you after watching this video, I hope you took some notes, but I want you to do right now after you finish this video, I want you to go down and do the planks. Now, if you've never done planks before, put your body on your elbows, keep a straight back, and only your elbows, the outside, not your palm, but the outside of your hand is touching the floor, and your feet. And you're straight, your whole body is a straight line. And then hold your plank for as long as you can, at least for 30 seconds. And no matter how it costs, you do it for 30 seconds. You do it for 30 seconds and you really embrace the pain there. The goal here is to embrace the fucking pain. For example, if you've done the plank before and you had a max duration of 2 minutes, aim for 2 minutes 30 and just fucking do it. Aim for 2 minutes 30. Do it right now after you finish this video. Okay? Take action. Until next time.